What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Amir's Pickleball, and in today's video we have episode 2 of the growth series where we are going to be recapping my tournament where I actually went up in division from 3-0 to 3-4-9 to now 3-5 to 3-9. So yeah, we're pretty much just going to be talking about my experiences playing up a division, some things we did right, as well as things that we did wrong, and also just talk about some things that we just didn't have in our control. But let's jump right into it. All right, guys, so just to give you guys a very quick rundown, me and my teammate Brian decided to play up. Since our last tournament, we went 5-1 and took home third place in the 3-0 to 3-4-9 division. We did start out very strong and won our first game by a large margin, but unfortunately we lost every single game after that, going 1-5. So let's talk about some things that we did do right. Our serves were great for the most part, and because of that, we were getting some free points here and there. More specifically, Brian's serve is just insane. Brian's serve is so unorthodox, and the timing is impeccable, the spin is impeccable. He just has a really good serve, so we just get free points just off of his serve because it's just so good. Also, some good things is I actually did better mentally in this tournament, keeping my cool and staying optimistic after each bad point. This also goes for when the team had match point, I was still very optimistic that we can still come back and win the game, and I think that is huge. I feel if at any point in the game that you feel like we lost, you've mentally just given up. And that's something I definitely learned in my last tournament. So this is a good thing that I have now got over that hump that, hey, look, no matter what bad point we have, no matter if they have match point, we can still come back, we can stop them and come back and win the game. And that definitely is a better mindset shift. Also, staying with Brian more through the transition zone was something that I worked on a lot in this tournament. So whenever we are moving through the transition zone, I am just kind of creeping to the kitchen with him than to just sprint there. You definitely want to stay with your teammate. This helps both of us know where we are in the court, so coverage just isn't much of a problem. Another positive thing in this tournament was my dinking and drops has improved drastically since the last tournament. There were a few points where we won just by out dinking the opponent, and also a lot of my drops were put with some spin, which also did help, and this bought us so much time to get us to the kitchen. Also, our putaways were really good in this tournament. I would say 90% of our putaways were not coming back. All right, guys, let's move on to things we did wrong in this tournament or things that we could have done better. So for me, the biggest thing, and this is always a problem for me, I just have to get this down. I need to drill this so much more. It's just so hard to drill this when you're not in a tournament. Guys, when you're in a tournament, you're gonna be a little bit nervous. Your shots are gonna feel way more heavy, like they mean a lot more than when you're in rec play, obviously. So number one is my returns. My returns were either high and lofty or short and low. And this is just a tendency that I have, especially in tournaments. And I believe it has something to do with hitting a few returns long. And then after that, I just start under hitting the ball so I can make sure to keep the ball in play, which isn't a terrible thing to do. Like, if you're noticing you're hitting every single return out, yeah, obviously you're gonna wanna under hit so you can try and find a sweet spot. The problem is I can't consistently get the sweet spot where I'm hitting a return nice and low, but also deep into the court to keep them back. So yeah, that's definitely something I need to work on. Also, not enough resetting. This goes for both me and Brian. We could have definitely did better on resetting the ball. There were many times throughout this tournament where we should have reset the ball to buy us time to get into a better position and play softer instead of bad speed ups that dump right into the net. So one mistake that we did make is letting opponents gain a lot of momentum and not taking a timeout to reassess the situation. Taking a timeout can break momentum and can help create momentum of our own. For some reason, I think we just forgot that we have timeouts. I don't know why in 6 games we didn't take a single timeout. So definitely something to keep in mind for the next tournament. So most importantly, just not being consistent. We were definitely our worst enemy in this tournament. Just a ton of unforced errors, like hitting the ball out was a big one, missing some serves and returns, and also dumping the ball right into the net. So this is just something that I think is going to come with experience, is going to come with more repetitions. We just have to become more consistent. A lot of these games that we lost were strictly from our own unforced errors. And I will say that is like the biggest difference between where I'm at right now, being a 3-3, and also playing against somebody that's a 4-0 or a 3-8 or a 3-7-5, is they're just more consistent than me. I can hit the same shots they can hit. The difference is they can hit them more often than I can hit them without hitting it into the net or hitting it out. It's just about consistency at this level. Also, pickleball IQ and decision making obviously plays a big part of it as well. But I think in this tournament, I think it wasn't that our pickleball IQ wasn't there, it was just our consistency wasn't there. All right, so let's talk about things that we couldn't control. I'm very excited for this. So just a disclaimer, any of these reasons that I'm about to say is gonna be more of a rant. It's not gonna be the end all be all, the reason why we lost this tournament, the reason why we didn't do so good. These are just factors that I felt like were just stacked up against us. And let's just say we definitely weren't ready for it and just wasn't accustomed to it. Number one, the Selkirk Pro S1, which was the official ball used during this tournament. This ball absolutely sucks. There is a reason why no one, and I mean no one, plays with this ball in any rec play in Central Florida. It is the most inconsistent ball I've ever played with. It is so much harder to control on drives and speed ups, and overall, it's just so hard to keep the ball in. I mean, seriously, I get it, I'm playing with a black opal, but I mean, just a simple roll is flying like yards out. I mean, I don't know what the hell is going on. It is just so much different than the more popular Franklin X40, which a lot more people play with. I just watched John Q's podcast, and I think they had a poll on which ball is being used. By a huge margin, Franklin X40 is the ball in rec play right now. Also, Lifetime is becoming the more popular one nowadays. I think it's creeping up on the X40s, but I think it's still X40 right now. But Lifetime balls are definitely coming in, and I think by next year, they're probably gonna be the ball of choice, actually. Either way, Franklin X40s, which everybody uses, are a lot slower in play and are just much more consistent. Yes, I know me and Brian could have practiced with a Selkirk ball weeks leading up to this tournament. I really just didn't want to go get and spend the money on a ball that I know just sucks and is so inconsistent. Yeah, the ball doesn't break, but man, it just sucks playing with. So yes, it definitely could have been avoided by putting in some time to play with the Selkirk Pro S1, but it just sucks. And no one I talk to in the tournament, and these are people who have gone to win the tournament, they all hate the ball. We all can agree. The Selkirk Pro S1 sucks. Nobody likes playing with it. I don't know anyone, I've never talked to anyone that enjoys playing with that ball. It just sucks. I really, really hope local tournaments switch over to a better ball like the Lifetime ball. Yes, the Lifetime ball is a lot faster, but at least it is so much more consistent than the Selkirk Pro S1. Another thing that just wasn't in our control, the courts sucked. There were a ton of dead spots on these courts. So this is an indoor facility. The lights were pretty low, so lights were kind of a problem a little bit. Lights were definitely a problem. One side of the court had much more lighting than the other, but that wasn't even a huge issue. I think the biggest issue was the uneven spots in the court. So definitely way more dead spots on these courts that I've ever played with ever. I mean, balls were literally just dying. So yeah, the courts just suck. Also, I think my biggest gripe of this court is all the courts were tightly put together. And I mean like 2 to 3 feet next to each other. It's insane. I don't even think that's regulation. I don't even think, like, we need way more room to play with. Also, not to mention, balls were consistently flying in during play. People were playing in the courts next to us. They were also getting very close and sometimes even stepping into our court within our lines in the middle of a play. Yes, we did restart every point, but it really sucks when it's happening a few times in the middle of a match. Just overall, a very hectic place to play when you have so many things you have to worry about. I probably won't be returning to this facility for a tournament ever, which sucks because I actually love the coffee shop that's there. Seriously, that place is amazing. But unfortunately, I am not going to go play there, spend money to play this tournament there. They need to do better with their courts. All right, guys, so just a quick overall summary. Me and Brian felt many things were stacked up against us in this tournament, and we just couldn't find a rhythm in this tournament. There just wasn't really much going for us. Hats off to Brian for playing this tournament with me. Also, hats off to everyone we played against. They played well. It just wasn't our day. I believe me and Brian weren't able to fully showcase our skills, and that is just the way it goes sometimes, and we just have to accept it. All right, guys, so what is next? This week, I am taking a road trip to my first PPA Challenger tournament in Raleigh, North Carolina, to play in the 3-0 to 3-4-9 divisions in singles as well as doubles with my brother Malik. I am currently still maining the Black Opal, but I do have the Luz Cannon for backup just in case I'm not playing well, and I definitely will be vlogging and showcasing this entire experience. So guys, make sure to subscribe if you're not already. So some things I'm currently working on getting ready for this tournament. So I'm working on cardio-focused exercises such as interval running as well as jogging. Also doing some mobility exercises like lunges and side lunges. Something I'm going to incorporate this week leading up to the tournament is going to be sprinting and some side-to-side drills to help me move quickly around the court to help my agility. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, please give it a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.